In society today, we are being attacked constantly with inauthentic conversations. Fakeness, trying to look cool, trying to be somebody we're not. That is why the Damn Dude podcast is here to have the authentic conversations that need to be had in a way that will make you think and say, Damn Dude.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Damn Dude podcast.
Damn Dude.
This is a show where we have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, Damn Dude.
Damn Dude.
Damn, dude.
This show exists to help educate, entertain, and make an impact on the different contexts and perspectives that we have in life, because I truly believe and discovered that the more access we have to different contexts and perspectives, the easier, smoother, cooler, and just flat out doper life is. You dig? Welcome to the show, you guys. This is season 6, episode 4, and I'm your host, California Cow. And I hope that you guys are having a beautiful day today. Whoa, sorry, listeners. I was also filming on my phone at the same time to capture my intro. But what is up, you guys? It's been a minute, and man, I've been busy. I've been really, really busy. So, man, what's new, you guys? What is new? Well, where do we start? I've been teaching a lot of swim lessons lately. Been going to the gym a lot. I'm on week 12 of going to the gym, minimum of 3 times a week. And it feels good, man. It feels good to have a gym membership again. It feels good to be back in the sauna, being able to like meditate, pray, practice gratitude, all of that in the sauna. I swear it just does so much for me. It really just hits different than just sitting in my room or even outside on a rock or anything like that. It just feels good. What else? I have posted the Land Cruiser for sale, you guys.
Damn Dude.
Damn, dude.
Holy moly, oh my goodness. It's hard for me to do, but also I'm like, okay, I just need something. The way that my schedule is and the way that I do life right now, it's just not necessarily the most practical thing for me at the moment. So I need something a little bit more practical and efficient, especially if I'm driving like 100 miles a day, stop and go sort of things. A little like zippy car sounds fun. So I'm actually, it's quite a huge difference. But what I'm looking to get for the time being is a Honda Fit. And if you know what's up with Fits, then you know. If you don't, it's all good and it just looks like a regular boring car. But I guess I'll share this with you guys. What I want to do is I want to get one. I want a 2nd gen preferably. If it's a first, that's cool also. I don't want a 3rd gen. I think those ones are kind of ugly. But I want to get it. I want to throw some coilovers on it. I want to maybe about 1.5 inch drop. Do all the basic mods. I want a manual one, obviously. And the little secret that I want to do to it, which I have not seen one in real life ever, and they were hard to find on the internet even, is a fit on like 96, 97, 98 Integra GSR blades. And I'm like, ooh, this sucker's going to go. It's going to be hard. It's going to be Hort in the Yort. And that's exciting to me, dude. I've never really had like a small car. I mean, I had bought my ex a Toyota Yaris before, and honestly, that car was sick, dude. It was so like comfortable and spacious inside, even though it's like a tiny ass car. But I would drive it on occasion, and it was cool, like parking and just gas mileage and everything was so easy, and it felt good. Excuse me. Otherwise, I've had, what year was that? I had a 93 Lexus SC300, and that was pretty dope. But that thing was like a huge, it always reminded me of a shark. But that thing was long and wasn't necessarily the best on gas mileage. It was a fun car though. But I've always had trucks for the most part. Like as my main vehicle, it's always been some sort of or some version of an off-road truck. So this will be the first time, excuse me, anytime I've had a car, it's just been like because I got a good deal on it and then I was gonna flip it or something like that. Like I had a Chevy Metro, not a Geo Metro, a Chevy Metro, and I didn't even know Chevy Metro was a thing until I bought one. I bought it because it was like, I don't know, I bought it for like $400, I think, originally, and everything worked. So I just, held on to it for a little, cruising around here and there, let my brother borrow it for a while. We definitely got our money's worth out of it, and then we took it and sold it for like $1,000, I think, which was pretty cool. So that's, if you know me, that's kind of a big deal. It's like, whoa, Calvin's not gonna have a bro truck, dude. That's crazy. Like my first big bro truck was I'll go over all the cars I've had. I didn't plan on doing this, but if you're into cars, then it's probably interesting. Vehicles. Let's see. My first car was a 1985 Toyota pickup, 4-wheel drive. It had a 3-inch lift. I was running like, I had 33s at one point. I was running 31s for the most part. Anything bigger than a 31 was just too slow. But that truck went everywhere, man. It had the manual lockers in the front. It was 5-speed, 4-wheel drive. I had crazy subs in the thing. It had like the racing bucket seats, which came from another, I want to say 4Runner or something at some point. They were really nice seats. It had full roll bars, off-road roll bars, bumpers, the lights, the whole deal. That truck was badass, man. I miss that truck. Then I had a 1987 Ford Bronco number 2. That car, my grandpa gave me that car. I loved that car. Unfortunately, that thing was a piece of shit. It didn't even have 100,000 miles on it. It just broke all the time. I eventually ended up recycling that. After that, I got a 94 Dodge Ram 2500 turbo diesel. That truck was sick, dude. Oh, I miss that truck. That was a sick ass truck, dude. It was just bulletproof. There was just never any real problems. The only problem I had was this, what was that thing? There's like a fuel filter on it, and where it would connect, it would sometimes like get old and it would leak. But every time I could just fix it by hand. It was kind of like, I realize I'm saying this all wrong because I haven't thought of this in so long, but there's like a little purge thing on that truck to where if water or air gets into the system, or if it's sat where it was too cold for too long or something like that, you hit the purge thing and it'll purge until it shoots out a little gas. It was like the thing that connected to that, which I had problems with like twice, but like I said, I literally just pulled over, monkeyed with it, and it just worked again. But that thing had a 4.5, maybe a 6-inch lift. It was a big ass truck. Then I had the Lexus SC300 at the same time as that. Then I also had I bought that 1999 Chevy Metro, 4-door Chevy Metro. That car was hilarious, man. And then after that, I had my 96 Jeep Cherokee XJ. That was a 2-door, 5-speed. I had a 3-inch lift on it. It was running 31s. That car just went everywhere also. But in recent times, I sold that one. It just started getting too old, had too many problems. It was like 230,000 miles on it. I mean, it was still going. It just kind of needed a lot. And it was just too much of a pit at that point, of a money pit, to it was just playing catch up with everything, and it was a pain in the ass. But no, I love that truck, and my grandpa gave that one to me also. And that truck was sick, dude. It was like the green with the sparkle, and it had tan interior. Again, 5-speed, 4-wheel drive. Had some. I put some Cherokee or Grand Cherokee rims on it, powder coated gold. The thing was just sick, man. And I actually have those rims for sale still, if anybody wants Jeep rims. And then I got my 91 Land Cruiser, and that's been like one of the coolest cars I've ever had. I had a lot of problems. Well, it wasn't even a lot of problems. It was just more like my financial status was all fucked. So the little things it did need with the cooling system and stuff, it was all pretty basic. I just like where I was at, I couldn't afford to do anything. So it sat for like a good majority of me having it. I've only had it for like 4 years. But recently it had like 10K dumped into it, and all the stuff is pretty much refreshed, just past smog. So it's good to go, man. Like I said, I just need something a little more practical. And then of course I always had motorcycles all in between, sport bikes, supermoto, couple Harleys, and I'm currently on a Harley now. So I realize I'm just kind of talking about bro stuff. We're going to get into some deeper stuff, which typically like car bros don't get into, but, we're going to get into it because, you know, that's what this show exists for. So, also, just recently, too, we went to Chef Fest. The homie Yamamoto was performing. A bunch of bigger names came through. Like Lil Weirdo was there. Siete Gang Yabby was there. There was a bunch of people, man. It was pretty sick. We had fun, took the kids there. And that was crazy because the city tried to shut down the venue. Well, they did shut down the venue, and they kept having to move locations, and finally it ended up at a big... The show was at like a... what do you call that? It was in Lakeside, like basically at like the secondary rodeo thing. Like not the rodeo right next to the high school, but the one like up the road just like a minute and a half from there. And it was dope, dude. It was like, dude, they should be having way more concerts here. This was sick. So yeah, that was dope. Shout out to Yamamoto for hooking it up. That was really cool. Anyways, what I wanted to get into, and this is a touchy subject, which is submitting to your man or woman. And it's like, okay, what does that mean? That's really triggering for people. Most specifically, I've realized it's triggering for people or for women who kind of grew up more in their masculine, women who really more bought into the whole feminist movement and all of that. A lot of the feminist movement stuff, there's good ideas and stuff like that, but like where it comes from, it's all a whole weird dark rabbit hole. And if you go, I'm not going to go into all that. You can look that up on your own, where it started, who started it, where it comes from, why, the whole thing. And obviously there's like two sides to every coin, right? And then there's the third side of a coin, which is the ridges of the coin, right? Like the thickness of it. So what I mean by that is there's good and bad and a reality to any different movement, thing that's happening, anything like that, right? And I realize people who really subscribe to that ideology have the hardest problem and are very triggered by the word submit. And I look at this and I'm like, when I get into this conversation with certain people, it's like, you are supposed to submit to your man or woman. And I'm going to break this down, obviously. And then on the side for the men, which is, like submit to your woman. A lot of dudes who grew up too tough, a little too much in their ego, dudes who aren't willing to see the greatness and the power of a woman will also have a problem with this. Now, the thing is, when I say submit, that doesn't mean be a little bitch and you just do whatever the fuck they tell you. That's not what that means in the way that I'm speaking on it. How I'm speaking on this is when I think of, okay, how is it that I submit to my woman? And how is it that she submits to me? Well, it's essentially passing the trust over, or passing the trust back and forth between each other, when you know that it's a role that the person who's better at that role should be in charge at that time. So if there's something to do with, like, I don't know, if we're dealing with somebody sketchy or something of that nature where it's very vibe dependent, and where many dudes will just, oh no, it's cool, he's cool, yeah, they're cool, and the girl's like, nah man, like, this and I see this, I feel that. And like, if you're not going to be willing to trust your woman's, as a dude, if you're not willing to trust your woman's intuition, you're not submitting to her. So the same way, it's like, if a dude steps up and knows how to act in the face of danger or something of that nature, it's the woman's job to, or role or responsibility, to submit to their man's understanding that they know what the fuck to do in that moment. So if you really like break down what I'm saying, there's no like, oh, you're telling me what to do and they tell me what to do and I just submit and I'm your little bitch and da 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 da. It's like, no, that's not what that means by any means. It's like, the way I see it with my lady and I, we just pass the ball back and forth. It's like, okay, I can feel and see that you know better in this instance. What's your measure? What's your word on this? What's your input? What's your gut feeling? Right? And it's like also not having to verbally say that every time. It's kind of like a subtle cue. And it's like, all right, like if you're really down with your partner, you know when it's time to leave without anybody having to say anything. If it's time to turn up a little bit, if it's time to kick back and relax, if it's time to stop talking, if it's time to start talking, whatever, like you kind of just instinctively understand that because you've submitted to the trust and intuition of your woman or your man, right? Because it's not just women who have intuition, like men, we have intuition too. It's like your sense of danger and protecting your woman, your family, your community, your property, like those things are of intuition also. And it's like, I suppose if your partner is not aware of their intuition, then it's going to be more difficult to submit to it because they don't have a handle on that themselves. So, and then with that being said, I think that's a relationship that's not necessarily meant to be unless that person, the other person's on the path, they're on the journey and they're working to grow that, get better and keep developing. So another way to say this would be this is also very triggering, but it's really not offensive if you don't put offensiveness into it, which is to know your role and stand in or on it. Like, if I know my role as a man, my lady doesn't have to worry about a lot of things. So like, for example, have you guys seen those like internet memes or jokes or reels or whatever where it's like, it's a girl and she's like, oh, me when I'm with my man, and she's just like walking and thinking about, oh, this is so pretty and this is so cute and da da da, and they're walking down the street as a couple and she's just in La La Land, and they go to dinner and the guy positions himself in a with his back against the wall so he can see everything and protect his lady, protect themselves, be on the lookout, assess for any danger. So as like the lady's sitting there like, oh, this is nice, this is cute, everything's colorful and beautiful. Like the man sitting there like, possible threat, 10 feet away. Okay, clear. This guy, is he being rude? No. Okay. Oh man. All right. If somebody comes in with a gun, then I'm going to move this. I'm going to kick that chair. I'm going to slide it. It's like, like the dude is in like, he knows his role. So it allows his woman to just be free and enjoy the nice things in life. Right. And this works both ways. But I think that as a couple, when each of you know your role, and that does, when I say that, it doesn't mean, and this is what a lot of people will hear, when I say know your role as a man or woman, it doesn't mean, bitch, make me a sandwich. God damn it. It doesn't mean that. Like, for some reason, people think that's what that means. It's like, your role is to make me a fucking sandwich, god damn it, and blah, 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 blah. It's not that. It's like, I mean, sandwiches can get made, and that's fine. That's not the point at all. It's like that. It's like, okay, if I'm going to work and my lady stays home and she's taking care of things at the house, watching the kids, doing the laundry, cleaning up dishes, cleaning up whatever, cleaning up the room, making sure it's nice, having the house be comfortable, the room, the environment, whatever, while I'm out at work, like making the money and providing for her, it's like, that's not offensive when I say that. But as soon as I say, oh, like, know your role, oh, I need to know my role, all of a sudden there's offensiveness implied. But no, there's really not. There's nothing offensive, because it's not like I'm like, bitch, you better be at home, dude, blah, 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 blah. And she's not like, shut up, go to work, and pay for me, and what, you're right. It's like, no, like, those things can happen, but it doesn't have to be in this like egotistical or what's that word, misogynistic sort of way. It's like, okay, on the same token, or okay, sorry, before I go there, I was gonna say, if I'm at work and I'm making money, then it's just a general understanding that if she's at home, she would take care of the stuff at home. And while I'm at work, I'll take care of the stuff at work, which then provides the stuff for us to even eat or get dirty or mess up or have more laundry to wash or whatever. So it's fair. And equally, there's been times where my lady goes to work and I'm at home. It's my day off. It's whatever. I don't have clients that day, whatever it might be. Like, I'm going to take care of all the shit at home also. So it's like, by the time she comes home, she can feel comfortable. The laundry's done, the dishes are done, the bed's made, the floor's cleaned up, whatever. There's food cooked. And I think it's when it's like where this gets taken the wrong way, is like, I'm a man, I ain't gonna cook fucking food, god damn it. It's like, no, that's not the point, dude. Like, know your role well enough when to be helpful and when to go the extra mile or not. You know what I mean? So like, it's not only about these things, but there's a lot of like unspokenness to it, which I think is very important to kind of dig up and put out there and be able to measure, essentially. And it's like, okay, if I'm going to go out to work and you're going to handle the shit here, I pass the trust to you. I don't need to be like, hey, make sure you clean the room, make sure you blah, 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 make sure there's food, make sure I don't have to do that, because of the understanding of knowing our role and submitting to the other. And a version for me as a man to be able to submit to my lady is like to do things as a provider to enhance her comfortability, her flow, her love, her warmth, her comfort, her, what's that word? What's that word? Damn it, I can't think of it. But basically like essentially her softness and care and nice touch, right? So I feel like how we can measure if we're standing in our role correctly or not is if our woman is soft and affectionate. That's the word I was trying to think of. If they're affectionate, if they're happy, if they're at peace, if their complaints are almost insignificant seeming, it's like, your life is pretty fucking good. That's what your complaint? Okay, I'm doing good then. Like, sometimes I'll hear my girl complain. Like, no, she doesn't complain, but like sometimes it's like, oh, you're taking forever, or oh, I'm cold, or damn it, that took forever. You took a long time. I'm like, okay, in my head, like consciously, literally, like in my man brain, like, so what? You got to fucking eat for free. It's like, that's the wrong way to look at it. It's more so like, damn, okay, I'm doing a good enough job to where her complaints get smaller. Her irritants get smaller. The things that she worries about are so minuscule that she gets to enjoy life and be soft. So, I realized my cord disconnected, and it was at the perfect time because I had finished my sentence. So, that's how I know I'm doing my job, is when she gets to be calm and the things she worries about are far less. And that's a good feeling, because then that puts you as a man in your provider role, and that's like, oh, okay, like this feels good. You should want to provide as a man. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes it's exhausting. Sometimes everything you could feel, right? Now, with all that being said, I will say my lady is very grateful and very appreciative, and is very aware of the dynamic, the role that we each play in our relationship and for the kids. And as we do that, because again, it's like her and I both are starting from a huge deficit in terms of finances and status and work and all of those things. It's like, it's been a process, man, but we've been rebuilding and rebuilding and recreating and recreating. And it's magical because we get to step into our role. And when you step into your role, it's like you're now being the higher version of yourself, the better version of yourself. And that in turn grows more attractiveness. And I don't know about you guys, but it's like, I just want to get more attractive to my partner as time goes on, not less attractive. You know, and it's like, there are things of nature which will make you irritating or less attractive as a partner as time goes on, because you just get comfortable and life gets normal. You know what I mean? And it's like the whole, like, the initial butterflies are gone and this and that and all that. But I think it's our goal to kind of help keep reestablishing that, regrowing that, and recreating how and why we're attractive. Now, with that being said, it's like there's times where I work too late or I'm fucking exhausted after working, and my lady wants my attention, wants my energy, wants my this, wants my that. And I'm like, oh, and it's like most of the time I'm good. I can go, I want to give more. I want to be more. But it's like on those times where it's like, or I'm texting too much, I'm on my phone too much or whatever. And it's like, I know that I'm doing this to keep increasing my ability to be a provider and to do my role better. And sometimes I understand, okay, she's a little annoyed right now because I'm not giving my full attention. But I'll communicate, hey, I just have to finish this. As soon as I'm done, you have all my undivided attention. And usually that's enough to turn things over and then move forward in a way where we now grow. And then she can in turn trust the work that I'm doing because I did my work intentionally, purposefully, and with the understanding that, hey, I understand this is cutting into my attention with you right now. And at the same time, this is what's going to help us live a better life moving forwards. So I think it's important too, as a man or as a provider, like to know when to go harder and when to back off and to just set it aside. And that's tricky. That could be tricky as a guy, knowing when to either double down on your work and say, hey, I have to do this, versus like, fuck this, I'll finish the rest tomorrow. Let's go to the fucking beach. Let's go to dinner and let's whatever, right? Let's spend time. Let's watch a movie, whatever it may be. So I think essentially when I sum it all up, that's what's so important about knowing our role and knowing how and when to submit to our partner, because when we submit to them, it allows them to be their best, greatest, most flourishing, colorful, vibrant, and I guess steadfast. I don't know why that's the word that came to me, but like planted, rooted, grounded version of ourselves. And then you get a more attractive person. And then the attraction grows, right? And it's like, yeah, it's not just that I mean, it is that simple, and it's not always that easy in real life, because life has ebbs and flows, right? And at the same time, I think that when we can have this understanding and we can communicate this with each other, things work out and we fall into our role and our ability to pass the ball of trust back and forth, and being able to let her stand in her role and me stand in my role and be the best that we can be, because that's what we were attracted to. When we met each other, she's working to become the best version of herself, and I'm working to be the best version of myself. And just because I pulled her, I got her, I'm with her, doesn't mean that it stops. That's how you become unattractive, is when you stop, you know? So when we know our role, we're able to really get through the next level, have better relationships, and empower each other, right? Then all the small stuff fades away, and then we can put more deposits into the juicier, funner, more romantic, more deeper, essentially just having more love as a whole. Like, if you don't strive, work for, and want more love as a whole in your relationships, then your true north is off, I think. And I say this from that being a big struggle of mine, was like, dude, I fucking suck at like watering relationships and keeping them going. I mean, at least I feel like I do. I'm not as, well, I don't know. Like, I know I can do better and I should do better. And I'm just kind of like, I've been analyzing that for myself, more so as like a friend to all my friends, rather, and business relationships, rather than to my own, like personal relationships, the people directly around me. But again, whether I think I'm doing good or not, there's always more and better that I can do. So it's been interesting as I rebuild business, and I'm doing this, man. It's been a slow, long process, and I'm so grateful for my family, my mom and my dad, my lady, and my clients and my friends who really have my back, who check up on me, who don't judge me, who root for me, who have love for my kids and my family. Like, that's the people I like fucking with. Now, that leads me into the next thing, which is adults relating to kids. And this is a big one. I take this personally because, to me, I think kids are like the dopest thing on the planet. Like, they're just the coolest. And when you really love kids, you love your kids. Like, for me, I work with kids. I love, and like, kids and families, and I love helping them learn life-saving skills. I love giving them skills that their parents get to be proud of them for, that the kids themselves get to be proud of, and elevating what it means to be a family and kid, and providing them with a place of, okay, my kids and my family are able to go do more things with less worry. And I know that that's what I provide for families. It's like, no, you go on vacation, you go to the pool, whatever it may be, you go to the beach, whatever it is, you're going to have more fun and more relaxation and more comfort on your trip or your outing to the water because of what it is that I was able to help teach your kid.
Damn, dude.
And to me, I'm like, damn, okay, this is awesome. This is exactly what it is I need to be doing, right? So with that being said, is like, I was thinking about how most adults, I should say, and even parents, I guess more specifically, but adults in general will agree that kids playing pretend, being loud, roughhousing, playing, doing all these things to where they get to expand their imagination. They get to play in their world of wonder. They get to just be kids and be free. Like, most adults will agree that that's good for children and good for an upbringing. Now, at the same time, you'll also see people who agree with this, adults who agree with the ideology of what I just said, but then at the same time get annoyed or mad when kids are being kids.
Damn, dude.
And that's so silly. It's like, you silly goose. That's silly. It's not just silly, it's silly. Because it's like, dude, so if you're shut up, you're too loud, stop making noise. Yes, obviously there are limits and there are levels of discipline and self-control and mindfulness that as parents we need to have with our kids, so they're not just like reckless, out of control, and just obnoxious humans. More so like that they get to be free and expressive and not have that what the hell is that word? Not have that suppressed. I was going to say surplus. Suppressed. Because once you suppress a kid and their enthusiasm and their imagination and that outward like dorkiness that kids just are, like once you've suppressed that, you've now got a suppressed human, and that the rest of their world gets formed off of suppression and built on a suppressive lens and point of view. So I don't ever want kids to be suppressed. I want kids to be expressive and full of life and filled with color and imagination and joy and happiness and freedom and feeling safe to do that. So at the same time, it's like, if you're a person who's like, this fucking kid's crying on an airplane, it's like, you suck then. If the parent is trying to calm the kid, the parent's doing what they're supposed to do. You cannot control your kids being crazy when you don't want. You can't control your kids crying at certain times or being emotional over certain things or having too much energy at certain points and times. Like, you can't control that or predict it. Like, you cannot predict it. Like, you never know what's gonna happen. Like, I'll give an example. Like, my son Royal, he's really good at like going on trips and taking long trips and being patient when we just have to wait and stuff like that. And for example, like, we made sure when the last time we were on a plane, we went to Wisconsin, but on the flight back from Wisconsin, we're like, okay, he's going to be tired. He's going to be hungry. We're weighing out all the factors, right? We did everything we could to be prepared and make sure he's set up with enough things to entertain him, to not be obnoxious to other people, to really just make it a good experience, not just for him, but for all the people around us, because we understand kids are going to be kids. And as a proactive parent, I'm going to do my best. We're going to do our best as proactive parents to make sure that we cover as many of our bases as possible. One base we could not cover, because how do you predict it, is as we're flying home, as we start landing, literally as the plane starts going down, Royal's sleeping, and he ends up, he was only like, 4 at the time, but he ends up peeing his pants, and we can't get up, we can't go anywhere. And by the time we land, he wakes up and his pants are wet. We didn't know he peed his pants, but we wake up and he is distraught. Like, obviously he's not wearing diapers or anything, right? Like, it was just, we were on a plane a long time. He had a little drink, this, that, whatever, right? We couldn't predict that was going to happen. He had a meltdown, dude. Granted, it was at the end of the flight, but still, you're standing with all these people waiting to get off the plane. Half the people are overly patient. The other half of the people have no patience and are trying to, like, stand up. They're ducking under the aisle, the whole thing, right? And my kid is, like, feeling embarrassed, feeling like, like you could just, he wasn't happy about it. He doesn't like that. And it's like, fuck, how was I supposed to predict this? Right? So what do I now do when my kid's screaming, got pants with pee, and I don't have a set of pants to change because all of our clothes are underneath the airplane and getting loaded onto the luggage carousel thing, and we didn't have access to any pants. He doesn't pee his pants. At that age, he wouldn't pee his pants normally, so we didn't think to just have a spare pair of pants in our carry-on. Stuff like that, right? So we just had to kind of like tough it out, talk to him the best we can. We're getting a lot of looks and all this, and it's like, dude, kids are going to be kids, man. How much grace can you have, you know? Or should you have? Because it's like, dude, to get mad at a kid being a kid is ridiculous. And when I see parents or adults, sorry, I keep saying parents. When I see adults getting super frustrated with kids because kids are just being kids, it's like, well, then you're a sucky adult and you need to tap back in. We don't need to, but I suggest you tap back in and check in with your own inner child. What is it that hurt you and threw you off so much that a kid crying is not okay? You know, it's like, it could be anything from you had a fucking tiger mom, you had a teacher who yelled at you, a sports coach who was too hard on you, a grandparent who whooped your ass every time you said too much or anytime you did this or that or whatever. And if you don't go back and heal that and look at that and like get real with it, then you're just gonna kind of be annoyed everywhere. And again, my measure of like if I'm being a cool older person or not as I age is if kids like me still or not. And I'm like, dude, if the kids fuck with me, dude, then I don't really care about what your grumpy opinion is of me, because kids see purity and light and color and authenticity, and like they see who's a cool, understanding person or not. And when you're that grouchy person, it's like, think of all the teachers you've ever had. I'm sure all of us have at least had some version of a sucky teacher, or at least a teacher that was better than the next. What made them better? It wasn't necessarily their ability to say, oh, this plus this equals this. It's like, no, it's the energy that they carried when they're teaching you some shit. And that energy means everything. That's who you are, right? Kids don't care about your status or your whatever unless they've been trained to. But like kids with their purity, they just see your purity. And if the purity of a kid bothers you, something is wrong with you, right? So like, I just think of this because I've been seeing it a lot. Like one example, I saw some woman just like going in on her kids because he was going, oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? He was asking good questions, and she was just fed up. She had 4 kids, all like close to the same age, which, trust me, I'm not like bagging on this parent. It was just in this instant, and I know I've been caught in instances where I'm fed up, I'm past my limit, I'm over the limit, I'm just maxed out. And all parents have been maxed out at some point. And you lose your cool, you come off too sharp or short or whatever. It happens, but the amount of times we can minimize that, the better. And that's just like what really kicked off me thinking of this is like the kid was asking cute and cool questions, and she was just like, stop talking. Why are you asking so much? Da, 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 da. Like, okay, she could have been a horrible mom and a piece of shit woman, but like, I'm not going to put that on her, right? You got a bunch of kids. It's a lot. And that's where I'm like, damn. And then I see other people judging her and looking at her, and they were either like, I don't know. It's like my intuition picked up on people were either looking at it like this kid's being out of hand like handle that, or like, damn mom, you're being a bit overbearing, right? And like both of those statements and sentiments are true, but also it's just an isolated thing, right? I don't know the dynamic of these people outside of that. I was just in the grocery store trying to grab coffee, and then I see other instances of this where it's like different grandparents, different parents of people I work with or see or whatever. It's like they'll not have patience for a kid being a kid. And it's like, if you understand that a kid being a kid, asking questions, being a little annoying is just part of being a kid, then what are you tripping about, dude? Like, really, you know? It's like kids being kids is good for them, and it brings purity to a community, to a household, to an environment, you know? And it's like the way our kids are and how irritating they can be or not is really based on how patient, understanding, or irritating and obnoxious we are, because they're just mini us. And I could see why that could be frustrating, because when somebody mirrors you, it's pretty triggering and it's pretty easy to just right. So when I think about it, I'm like, dude, let kids be kids. And the more adults that can tap into their own inner child and understanding of like, all right, they're just being kids, the better our society runs. And so many people are so like me this day and age, and have bought into a world of like relating to the world like it is on the internet, not as it is in real life.
Damn, dude.
And it's like, that's a big thing I always told my oldest son, Nate, is like, dude, there is a complete difference between what goes on the internet and what goes on real life. The internet, there's a lot of good things on it. There's a lot of truth. There's a lot of exposure. There's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of wisdom. There's a lot of information. But at the same time, there's equally as much bullshit, people full of shit, people who would never say anything in real life just going off. And it's like you see all these little, like, these younger kids talking shit, using the N-word and this and that. And it's like, bro, like, you would never talk like that to the person you're talking to like that in real life. Like I was talking to this old dude in the sauna the other day, and we were kind of having this conversation of like, dang, man, like, what happened to common courtesy, dude? Like, people feel safe behind the internet and all this, and people don't know what it's like to get punched in the mouth. So they just feel free to talk shit and be douchebags, not having any like real respect, because they're bought into a perception of life where how it is on the internet is what flies and what's real, where you can talk shit with no repercussions. But like, dude, and we're still here in real life, and in real life, if you do some dumb shit, you might feel or hear about it, hear or feel about it, if you do it to the wrong person or people, you know? So that's why it's like I do my best to put real stuff on the internet and into the ether and to leave for my family. Because we can talk about whatever bullshit, but it's like, that's cool and there's a place for it. But like, it's such a fine line this day and age of like, what is a joke, what's satire versus what somebody's really meaning versus what's entertainment versus what's really helpful. And it's like the line between personal development and entertainment is so thin right now. Like it's like half the time you can't even tell, or you see somebody talking about like being the best version of themselves, or how to get better, or how to keep growing, and then it's like, this person's a scumbag, and this is what they're saying. Like, fuck. But that's on the internet. In real life, you see through the shit. Like, you see the guys in the rented Lambos or in a parking lot up against somebody else's car or whatever, and it's like, You know that's bullshit in real life. But on the internet, you could pose, you can catch a bunch of clips, and you're like, damn, that guy's got a fucking Ferrari and a Lambo and a private jet, not knowing that the private jet was really the inside of a studio room that was set up, and it just looks like it. It's not even a fucking airplane. It's a building with jet seats and dome inside of it and all of that, right? And it's like, that's where it gets blurred. So I encourage any younger people, especially if you grew up with the internet in your life your whole life, like, go that extra mile to see what these people are about, where they are, like, and how this occurs in real life, not only on the internet. Because I fall victim to it too sometimes, where I got tricked by certain people on the internet, where it's like, I'm like, okay, this person's dope. They know what they're talking about, da 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 da, and then they get caught for like fraud or scamming people in the next year or months or whatever, and it's like, damn. Like, if you guys remember that fool Jay Mazzini, like, he was that dude. He was like an Arabic dude, and he was going around with like Fabulous and 50 Cent and whoever, and like giving stacks of cash to people. He would go up to like McDonald's or Burger King or whatever and walk through the drive-thru and be like, oh, here you go, and bless all the people with money. Or like, see a mom and a kid walking down the street. Oh, here's 20 grand cash, da da da, stuff like that. Then later we find out all that money came from scamming his own community, scamming his own religion. And then these videos, he's telling people, hey, want to be in a video? And he'll give them like $20, if even that. It's something like that. This has been a couple years now, but he'll give them the cash, make a whole acting scene out of it, and then take all the fucking cash back at the end of the scene. It's like, bro, so now this fool's in jail for hella years. I think his wife's in jail too, and it's just this whole thing. A whole fucking thing. And like, at first, I started following him. I'm like, damn, this is dope. This fool's fucking sick. Like, what the hell? But as you go and time goes on, it's like, oh, this fool was completely full of shit, dude. Like, the fuck? You know, but it was like, it was kind of a glimpse of what we wanted to see in humanity. Like, oh, the rich giving to the poor and really being for the people, all to find out it was a setup video. It was scam money. It was fraud money. It's like, oh, I'll help you take this and invest this and build you a store and invest in property with me and all these portfolios and da 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 da. All to find out he's using the money to make fake videos and buy himself fucking like cars and shoes and all this bullshit in the end. Like, damn, this is fucked up. So that's why I think authenticity is so important, and just being as real as we can about things. Because, dude, I just want to be remembered for being real. I don't ever want to scam people or bullshit people. Like, this is a free show. I'm not even selling you guys anything. And I still want to make sure that the truth and something real gets delivered and left with you guys, because that's what's important. It's like making good deposits into the world that are authentic, real, and feel good. Otherwise, like, the fuck are you doing? You know, what am I doing? And if you ain't here, then where the fuck you at? Do people still say that? Oh, man. But yeah, dude, those are the main things I wanted to speak on today. And I just encourage everybody, practice gratitude, say at least 3 things you're grateful for every day. At least once a day. But if you can do 3 things in the morning, 3 things at night, you magically start thinking of more things to be grateful for throughout the day. I had a good talk on Father's Day with this dad who was going through it in the sauna. And that was kind of what we came to. Was like, dude, even when shit sucks, be grateful, because it comes full fucking circle, dude. Like, you'll see why you needed to do this as long as you just keep fucking going, dude. Like, just keep going. And that's my advice to anybody really going through it. Just keep going. Because what else are you going to do, dude? Like, just keep going. Every problem, every painful thing, it all comes around full circle in the end. And the more we can remind ourselves in the midst of it, the better off we are, the better we are, the more grateful we get to be, the more we open the space for blessings rather than stress. Because like your head's going to be filled with one or the other, making blessings or making stress. So if we get to pick, let's pick the blessings. Let's pick gratitude. Let's pick authenticity. Let's pick being real with ourselves and each other. You know? So, that being said, hit you with the outro music. 90 miles push away, and I don't wanna be here for days. We'll surf by the 38. The sun touch your face. Not the beach, not the hill, and I just wanna be used to, and it's gonna be me and you.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for keeping this a top 10 podcast of all podcasts in the world. Blows my mind. Thank you guys. I'm very grateful. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. Thank you guys for sticking with us as we've had all these gaps between episodes. I've been building life, man. And I will continue to keep checking in with you guys and continue to keep giving you guys good episodes that are real, hopefully help you, help your relationship, help your life, all that sort of good stuff. So, with that being said, please be sure to tell a friend, 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 to tell their best friends, cousins, uncles, shoe-shaping, penny-shining, wheatgrass distributing best friends chiropractor about the Damn Dude motherfucking podcast, because you know that they need it. Again, I'm your host, California Cow. Give me a follow on Instagram at The Real California Cow, just like it sounds, The Real California Cow. And I will see you guys soon. Have a beautiful day. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Much love, guys. Peace.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude.